What's up, everybody? Welcome to Simon Daily. And today we're going to talk about emotional intelligence versus your human emotions. So, basically, in life, right, you got situations that happen and you have moments where, you feel happy, you feel sad, mad, etc. But when you feel them emotions, you have to really understand like it's deeper than that. So, again, when you human, you feel those set emotions, right? You as a person got to have enough emotional intelligence to know how to filter those emotions and how to really like go about situations. Let me give you an example. You got moments where like you overly mad, right? So when you mad, do you just lash out, say fuck everybody, just go off the limb, or do you sit there and decipher the emotion like, okay, bet, I'm angry about the situation. You analyze the situation, and now moving forward, you understand how to address the situation like productively, like smartly. You know what I'm saying? So when you have the moments that like you feel those emotions, especially as an adult, you know what I'm saying? It's not even gender specific. I feel like especially as an adult, you got to know how to decipher your emotions and really like analyze it and move productively. Like you got to really think smart when you going about life. You get what I'm saying? Because as you get older, you can't just be lashing out just because you're mad. Like that's no really an excuse. Like yeah, you are mad because you're human, but that's no excuse to just go off on everybody, especially to people that ain't do nothing to you. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I personally feel like emotional intelligence is a big thing. Like when you feel these said emotions, again, you're human. So by any means, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel happy, you're gonna feel sad, you're gonna feel angry. It's a lot of situations where you're gonna feel how you feel. But when you're emotionally intelligent now, you gotta know how to decipher those emotions and understand how to go about the situation. Like for me, example, like for me, I done had situations where like I'm overly mad. Like I had a situation one time where like me and a friend of mine or whatever got into it XYZ, or I felt a certain way. You get what I'm saying? I could have easily just like went off the limb, just cussed them out and did this, did that. You know what I'm saying? Going the whole rant, but I ain't do that. Like I had to really analyze the situation, really think like, damn, okay, let me decipher the situation. Let me kind of understand what I played a part and where I went wrong at, and vice versa, where I felt like he went wrong at. So I had to give myself time to really think about it, really like, ISO myself and just, think about the situation more in depth. You get what I'm saying? And then once I went about it like that, it gave me a clear thinking. You get what I'm saying? When shit happen, you can't just automatically just snap. Like at your first emotion, you can't just react off that first emotion. You really got to give yourself time to really think. You got to give yourself time to really like analyze it and really say, okay, how is this affecting me? Why do I feel the way I feel? And how can I go about it? You get what I'm saying? That's the biggest thing. And my whole point, what I'm trying to get at is I always feel like there's two sides. You have your human emotions and you have your emotional intelligence side. And I personally feel like emotional intelligence plays a major key role in life, especially as you're progressing in life and you're trying to move forward and get on a different path. You get what I'm saying? Like it's really deep to me because again, for example, when you're sad about something, like say you got a heartbreak, like you broke up with your spouse or a relative died, etc. As hard as it may seem to not want to go off into the deep end and just be depressed and just be in your room and lock the door and TV and lights off, you just in bed just moping around, like you want to call off work, you don't want to be around nobody, you want to answer no phone call. As much as you want to do that, really think about, is that productive? Does that really better the situation? Because it doesn't. So you get into a situation like that and the first thing you want to do is just disappear from everybody. While that is understandable, you can't have moments where you like take time to yourself, but don't make it get too deep than what it is. You get what I'm saying? Like if you super depressed and all that, as much as you want to disappear from the face of the earth and just drown in your thoughts and just sleep in your bed all day, that's not healthy, being realistic. Because we're all adults, you know what I'm saying? We all got bills. You still got to go to work every day. You don't just, because you're sad or whatever, you don't just call off work for the whole month or forever long it takes you. You don't do that. Even if you take some time to yourself and call off work for a day or two, okay, I understand that. But you can't just fully isolate yourself. It's not healthy. So that's why I say when it comes to emotional intelligence, you got to really peep the emotions and really understand and articulate how you can like, better everything. So what I'm really trying to get at is, am I the only one that feel like it's two sides to your emotions? Like, do you feel like you're just human and however you feel, you just react? Or do you feel like, yes, I am human, but at the same time, I have enough emotional intelligence to kind of understand how I feel, like how this is making me feel, and how can I go about it? Because me personally, I had a lot of times where, like, I might be mad at somebody or I'm sad about a situation and stuff, and it's like I want to go off into to the deep end and just let my intrusive thoughts win. But as an adult, there's really no excuse for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because, for example, you could be at work and a coworker made you mad. So obviously you're human. You want to react a certain way, but you knowing your emotional intelligence side, you can't. Especially like if I'm at work, I can't just get mad at a coworker and just slap them. I can't get mad at a coworker and just cuss them out. No matter what, certain times do call for that. Let's not be unrealistic. Certain times does call for that. But when you're emotionally intelligent, you got to know how to decipher that emotion. So I'm at work, right? And I'm mad about a situation. I'm not just gonna cuss the coworker out because they made me mad. No, I'm gonna decipher the situation, understand why that person made me mad, and if it come down to it, I'm even gonna pull them to the side and talk to them one on one, like, hey, the way you went about the situation, et cetera, and then you come to common grounds. And that's what I'm getting at. Like, just because you're mad or sad or whatever, you don't just let your intrusive thoughts win and just go off on a limb. And I personally feel like a lot of people, that's what they do. A lot of people, they don't even really care about the emotional intelligence shit. They feel a certain way, they're gonna react off that way. In my opinion, I feel like that won't really help you out in life, especially as you get older. Because one thing I learned is the older you get, mistakes start to cost more and more. Like when you a kid and you make mistakes, okay, cool. But as you start getting older, them mistakes cost. And them mistakes could set you back farther and farther and farther. And I personally learned that. I done made so much mistakes that, like, over time they started to add up and they started to cost. And I started looking at that shit like, hell no, we ain't gonna keep just doing that. We gonna have to think this shit through. Because sometimes you'll react off a certain situation and you will just like, it'll just set you back so far. And then now at the time done passed, now you want to think like, damn, I ain't had to react like that. And that's me a lot of time. Like, I do certain things and then months later, weeks later, I'm just like, damn, I'm sitting out in my room, I'm just thinking like, damn, I ain't had to react like that. I could have went about it like this, but by then it's too late. So that's what I'm saying. Emotional intelligence is a big, big key factor, especially when you're an adult. Especially, there's no gender specific. Women and only women need it, only men need it. No, 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 no. As an adult human being, everybody needs emotional intelligence. I'm telling you that right now. I'm still learning it. I'm getting better at it, but I'm just saying, I'm just speaking my truth. I just felt like I want to talk about that with y'all today. So, if you agree with me and you feel like you think how I think, go ahead, comment and tell me a situation where, you had to use your emotional intelligence and it helped you out, or tell me a time, or just tell me just in general that you may still be dealing with it. You just learned that, or you want to get into that. You never know. But, appreciate y'all for checking in. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. And, we're going to keep doing some more sim series and just, chop it up one-on-one with y'all.